In these tumultuous times, for parents to rely upon intuition, conventional wisdom, and the way they were parented as their basic approach to child rearing can be a mighty risky way to go. Rather, Dr. Latham advises parents to study and see better ways of parenting.
After a radio interview during which I responded to several questions about parenting, I dashed to a local bookstore for the book signing of a new book that I had just published. I was gratified at the response. By the time I got to the bookstore, people had already lined up to have me autograph the book. In several instances, the books, lots of them, were to be personalized for daughters, sons, grandchildren, or friends. Before long, all the books were gone. The shelf was empty, and the bookstore began taking orders. I felt grateful that my work had been so well received. A few days later, I was recalling this experience to a friend of mine who is a retired book publisher, a man with long, rich experience in the publishing business. He was attentive and gracious as he listened to me tell with enthusiasm about the public's response to my book. Then he kindly and gently burst my bubble. "Glenn," he said, "I am delighted that the response to your book was so lively. I was interested when you said one customer after another purchased several books at once. Do you realize that 80 to 90% of all self-help books are purchased for someone else, and that only about 10% of those gifted books are ever read from cover to cover, if at all? It's the old story. Everything would be just fine if you'd shape up, and here's just the book you need to do that." My heart sank. I didn't pour a year and a half of my life into writing that book as if it were a ceramic figurine to become a table decoration. I wrote for parents in need and wondering desperately what to do. I thought about a compelling book written by a professional friend of mine on the antisocial behavior of youth, in which unskilled parenting was identified as the number one cause of such behavior. It was to give parents skills, not gifts, for which I had written the book. Parents, I speak to you now with the unvarnished truth. If you don't acquire some basic parenting skills, you are throwing you and your children into harm's way. Society and parenting have become too complex to be left to intuition, conventional wisdom, or trial and error. You must have skills. The environment is no longer on your side as it was for your parents. The environment is now your enemy. And if you don't have the skills with which to defend your role as a parent, your defenses will be quickly dashed, and your home, family, and even marriage will be in grave danger. As one prominent religious leader noted, parents must, quote, "study and see what they can do for the recovery of their children," end of quote. Whether it is one of my books or one of the many fine parenting books that are abundantly available, when you get one, read it, study it. In fact, if you have any questions about some of those books, get a hold of me. I can recommend several excellent ones to you. It has been my experience that when parents take a serious, conscientious, student approach to learning parenting skills, it makes a tremendous difference in their homes. Parents are forever complaining that unlike a car or a washing machine or a safety helmet, babies don't come with a how to operate manual. Well, that's not quite true. There are lots of how to operate manuals for children of all ages. The next time you get one, read it, study it, learn all you can for the rearing and recovery of your children.